Hey, Blue Table fans, it's time for a bat rep, a Warhammer Fantasy bat rep, and I'm here with Josh, and he is going to tell you all about his orc army that he has brought this time. I'm ready.
This is my Orc and Goblin army. Let's see here. So, how it works is basically you have the two giant blobs of orcs. You have black orcs, which are really tough, and you have the normal orc boys. They're biggins, so they're a little bit tougher. So they're kind of the main fighting force right there. Then you also have 2 units of night goblins, just as little flankers and support units. Then you've got your monsters, which are your trolls. Whoops. And your arachnoric spider. Big, beefy monsters that are hard to deal with and they do a lot of damage. And then for more support, you have 2 rock lavas, this is range support. You also have my 2 counts as mangler squigs. So they run around, just cause havoc. Yeah, that's my army.
So why did you pick these units?
These units, because I wanted a mix of orcs and goblins. I've seen armies that are just goblins. I've seen armies that are just orcs. Mm-hmm. They don't ever really do too well. And since the army is called Orcs and Goblins, I decided I want both. So I got some of those, and I also got some of the characteristic kind of things that you only get in Orcs and Goblins, such as trolls, the giant spiders, and squigs. Squigs are just kind of
but there's got to be some strategy here. So when somebody's making an army, what are the things they have to consider that you've considered here?
1, you need bodies. You need tons of bodies. In fantasy, it's usually better to go, the more bodies you have is better than a higher armor save, since strength can negate armor saves completely.
Right, but you can't get rid of your ranks.
Right, you just need tons of bodies.
Okay.
You also need...
And so how many would you recommend then?
For core, at least, depending on the army, mostly 80. Like for Empire or...
Right.
You know,
so, and that would be between various units.
Yeah.
So like here you have a unit of 25?
30.
Oh, 30?
Yeah, it's in 6s.
Oh, it's 6 wide. Hello. And this is 10 wide and 40.
Yep.
So 30 and 40, so you have 70 just in orcs, and then each of these units are 20 goblins, which is the minimum amount, right?
Yeah, that's what you have to
like
take.
That's how many. Now, if there were an army where you could have taken just 10, would you have split them up into 10 and 10?
Probably, actually.
Okay. And then, and you do need, when you're making an army, you got to consider ranged support, as Josh put it, and that is a very real thing. And why do you need that?
It's just so for the first couple turns you're not going to be in combat, but it's nice to thin out ranks or to shoot the other guys' big monsters. Mm-hmm. So like if you were fighting against this army, taking rock lavas or cannons and trying to kill the big things that you're going to have trouble in close combat with, getting those, or thinning out smaller units.
So everything has a role, which is range support, which is to thin out the enemy army as it advances, and also as a troubleshooter. And in a way, these guys are kind of like that too. They're troubleshooters.
Oh, yeah.
You put them where you just want to create a problem. Troubleshooters, troublemakers, really.
Yeah.
And then you need hard-hitting units, which is these 2. And then you need your big blocks of core guys, and then you have infantry support as well.
Pretty much.
Because I notice you don't have any cavalry.
No.
So this army really doesn't have anything that moves fast.
It's not fast, but it can take a hit.
Right, well, but if you think about it, the trolls move 6, so in a way they kind of fill that role.
Yes and no.
I guess, right?
Yeah.
Because I guess you could have taken a unit of 10 boar boys and had it cost 250 points, right? Or you could take this giant thing.
Yeah.
Which is funner to paint, looks cooler.
And it does, that's the other thing. So it's got a flinger on it. I didn't put the flinger on it when I
So this is range support too.
Yeah. This is huge because, the Orcs and Goblins initiative, not Night Goblins.
Wait, where's your wizards?
Oh, I have a wizard here, and I have a wizard here.
So this is only 39.
38, because there's a
38,
BSB.
okay. And then this is a
Little
goblin
wizard.
Okay.
So, these guys are low initiative. They're initiative 2. So the flinger gives always strikes last, which is really good because then your orcs get to hit first. So it does double duty. And
Okay.
also, I've got the Orc and Goblin magic cards. Very useful. They have all of the spells that are in the book, just printed on neat little note cards so that you can just deal with the spells that you do have during the game. And you can just kind of throw
Here,
them on the
hold
table.
them.
Oh,
Show them off.
here's the Orcs.
So you get both decks in one thing. Oh, and by the way, you can, if you have your army done through us, let us know if you need any extra stuff, like a book or these spell cards. So go ahead. So it has all 8 spells.
7.
Seven
But then
spells.
also, these ones are cool. The new ones are getting the lore attribute in it
There's
too.
8 cards there.
Yeah, but there's only 7 spells.
Oh, okay.
And then the lore attribute.
Oh, got it.
So you get that, and you get all of them for the goblins too.
Right. Goblin spells. Okay. Got it. So what's good about these? Why don't you just look them up in the book?
Because they're just quick reference, so you're not always flipping through the book. You're like, what page is it?
You just have them there. And,
Yeah,
and
they're
you've
just-
pulled the ones that you roll.
Yeah, and they're numbered too, so you can just right away just see that. It's like, oh, I got number 6. Well, I want to cast that.
see.
Has the
Right.
information, the spell, what it does. Even has the lore attribute down here. It says
Right?
it applies
Sneaky
to this
stealing. I don't like sneaky stealing.
one. Love stealing.
Okay, and that, folks, is an Orcs and Goblins army. What that looks like. We do have a, if you contact us at bluetablepainting@gmail.com, we have somebody who can help you set up your army. You can give us a budget, too, and then we'll do the best we can inside that budget. And we also have the option to do what's called a turbo army. That's where you say, hey, Orcs and Goblins are for me, and you give us a points level and it costs a certain amount flat. I will put up a link in the liner notes to this video to information on that. So you just say, you know what, make me a 2,000 point Orcs and Goblins army, and you just pay for it in whatever chunks is convenient for you. Hey, so every time you make an army, you have to think, how does this army win? And vampire counts have a basic strategy, which is mire your opponent in the numberless dead, and have the good units pick them off from the sides or in other areas. And you can definitely see that with my army. By the way, this is 2,500 points. I would like to point out that we are running a special called 60 Plus, where you can have 60, by the way, that's what this is. You can have 60 models painted. It doesn't include cost of models or assembly if you want us to do it. You can have 60 plus painted. Go ahead and check the link or contact us for details on that. It's quite inexpensive because our job is to make sure you have an army to play with that looks awesome and that you don't spend all your time painting and assembling your figures. So anyway, back to how it wins. Big blocks of zombies, 60 zombies each, and then my hard hitters. I've got the Terrorgeist, which is a monster gun pause. You have the Terrorgeist, which, like Josh, is a big creature that is a heavy hitter. You've got the Vargeists here. By the way, this is a limited edition blue table painting measuring template. It's just an unusual sort of shape there. I have skeletons. This is actually a defensive piece for the heroes. And Black Knights are heavy hitters too. So Black Knights, Vargeists, and Terrorgeists are heavy hitters. Then I have Harassers. And these are little units of troubleshooters just designed to, for example, I want these guys to draw out the fanatics. That's their job. Get the fanatics out and die hideously. This is War Machine Hunters right there. If anything, I should have more of those. Same thing here. This I'm running as a Tomb Banshee, not a Cairn Wraith. So the Tomb Banshee is a troublemaker, basically. Then in Vampire Counts, in order to win, you have to have spell support. Your guys aren't designed to just take everything by themselves. You have to have like both upgrades and the basic thing, which is resurrecting more guys. So that's how this army wins. This is what a 2,500 point Vampire Counts army looks like. And by all means, contact us at bluetablepainting@gmail.com if you would like us to do an army for you. Okay, so here's our board. And by the way, this is a set of terrain that you can buy. This is called a Spires set. This is tier 1.5. It has 19 pieces. that you receive. Terrain isn't an exact science, though. Individual results and contents may vary. We just want to make sure that you get a good value. So what we have here is we have just regular hills, no rough terrain or any penalties there. We have regular forests right here. What forests do in the game is if your units are ranked up, they disrupt those units where you no longer get to be steadfast, but you still get your rank bonuses. And then, which is important for me, actually not important for me because I don't even make the tests. My guys would just die anyway.
You lose less to crumble, but 3 less.
No, you said it didn't take away the ranks.
Oh, right, no, I get what you're saying.
Right?
Yeah.
So forests really don't hurt the undead, do they?
No.
That's interesting. All right, because I won't run away anyway. These are just impassable terrain, and I just put these here as decorative bookends to kind of give the table a feel. And quite frankly, for Warhammer Fantasy, you do not need a lot of terrain. And if you look at my army, that's 4 feet wide right there. My army is easily going to stretch across the deployment zone. And it's going to be, in a way, a problem. So I'm going to deploy my zombies units, basically just to muck up a whole area of the board. And, you know, hopefully I can line up my heavy hitters right. Vampire count's taking the black dice. Orcs the green, of course. Here's for option to deploy first. A 6 and a 1. The sides are exactly the same. So I'm going to go ahead and just deploy closer to my desk over there and take this far side. But that also means I need to put down a unit first. All right, we are all deployed up. So we're going to talk about strategy. And let's go ahead and do Josh first. So go ahead.
Okay. So I have my support over here because they can shoot 60 inches. They can pretty much hit anywhere in the board.
And that's going to be a problem. I already know what he's going to be shooting at, which is these guys right here. Or no, is that not it?
Well, getting ready for your wizard would be really helpful because
that's
then
the
you can't
giant
raise guys.
thing. That's the giant thing. So now I've countered that because I put not all, but a lot, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 troublemaker units just to try and roll up this flank right here. So my prediction is I've got more than enough to handle this situation here. It really depends. The Terrorgeist is situated in a very interesting position here where he could go that way and help out here, or he could help out in the middle as well. But go ahead, Josh, sorry.
Okay, so supporting the flanks. I've got my big core of hurtingness.
Now, why did you put the trolls in the middle there and not on the edge?
Because they're stupid.
They are stupid.
They're stupid on leadership 4, so they
need to be close to the general.
Yep.
So no doubt he's carefully measured out the 12 inches. You got to mind that, and 12 inches from the banner.
Well, here's 9. Here's an inch. There you go.
Right.
Because
easily within, and then
little troublemaker.
Yeah.
Then they kind of just wound up
So
over here.
if you look at the core here, his army is lined up like that, and my army is just skewed with the bulk of the points going to the other side. All right, so let's get a play-in. Now, Josh did me a favor, because I was ready to deploy first, but he found out that since I had 10 deployables and he had 9, that if I made him go first, that would be a slight advantage, because he would have finished his deployment first.
Not only that, since they have to go first, he saw that I put my big brick here, so he can be like, hey, I don't want to put my army over here. I don't want to put this unit over here.
Yeah, but you really could have, with that, you could have gone either way. You could have started deploying this way.
Right.
Or as you did it the other way. So anyway,
Okay.
but it is right. It is a slight advantage. 1
And a 6.
and 6. So
+1.
Josh gets to pick whether to go first or second.
I think you have to
He
go
chooses.
first, but I will go
I
first.
do have to go first.
No, I think whoever wins has to go first in this
Really?
one. I think it's for
I don't
just
think
the
so.
pitch battle. I'm not sure. Either
Oh,
way,
wow.
I'm going first.
That's the problem with playing fantasy and 40K. So okay, go ahead. Okay, so Orcs, Animosity. So if you play Orcs, it means you like a lot of models. They're fun, but they're a bit random. So go ahead.
Okay, so because orcs like to fight everything and anything, including themselves, they have to roll on a table to see if they can.
We're ready. So on a 1, it's Animosity.
So they're good.
Nothing.
These guys.
The other,
They're
the
good.
goblins.
These
The
guys.
orcs, this is the big one, but they have a black orc in them, which prevents them from squabbling, but with a penalty, and nothing else has to test.
Yep, they're all good.
Okay,
So now we
great.